Hello and welcome to the Reflection Show with me, Martha Inspires. It's the month of love and I'm so excited because this is the month for us to give and receive love. However, sometimes we do not understand the way some of us want to give out love or receive love. If you watched our episode last week where we looked at what love means to a man, the men spoke about what they want, what they need. But today we want to look at what love means to a woman. How do women want to receive love? We want to communicate with the men to tell us, or we are telling them how they should treat us. It's going to be a great conversation. Let's take a break. When we are back, we delve into the conversation. I am Martha Inspires. Stay tuned. Welcome back from the break. What does love mean to you as a woman, as a young girl hoping to get married, as a young married woman? Is there something you want to communicate to your husband that I want to be treated in this way or that way? Today we'll be looking at what love means to us as women and how we can probably communicate that better to everyone around us. And I have here with me, you've seen them on the show a few times. Auntie Grace Efialabi, she's a counselor, and then Osofumame and Asafumame Bessie Odame Buafo. She's also a wash consultant, but today she's not coming to wash. she's coming to probably wash our hearts out to tell people and the men that treat us like this. Auntie Grace, women, what is love to us? When a man says they love us, what do we expect them to know?
So you mentioned in your intro that as a young girl who is unmarried, as a young married person, and obviously someone who's been more a number of years in marriage. So I would say that at these phases, we would all have different expectations. So let me start with the young girl who is unmarried. That young lady may be looking out for some level of security. I want to have a guy who has achieved, who's made it, so to speak. Sometimes that is what I say there is a little bit of error because sometimes God doesn't always package it for you as you want it.
Okay.
You need to look at the potential. You need to know what the man's vision is, and then you are in there to support. Do you think you fit or you will fit into the vision? That is where, as a young girl, you really should be looking at. When a man says he loves you and has married you, just like in a relationship, which is mostly supposed to be lovely, enjoyable, with all the butterflies and all the flitters and all, probably in most, let's say, the early stages of the marriage, you will still have maintained some bit of it. In the first, let's say, let me take the first 5 years. That's a very critical time in marriage.
Wow.
So most people will tell you that that is the time, that's one of the very high probable time that you can actually pack out of the marriage.
Wow.
Because that is when you're going to be hit with the reality of
Your spouse.
the man I'm married or your spouse. That is when you're going to see all the things you probably had not seen that you may not like. That is when so many things you discover. So a friend of mine will tell you that honestly you can't know each other 100%,
Yeah.
even if you stayed 100 years together, because every day you discover something new. That is when you're probably going to have some financial challenges, and especially if you didn't discuss how you're going to handle your finances or what the plan is going to be like. You're going to be having financial troubles. So it is a whole ball game in the first 5 years. So what a young woman again will still be looking for will be security and a good level of support, because we have come together. We now live together. So if I'm a career woman, I would be looking out for your support, not just in my career, but in whatever I hope to achieve, and then also in the home. Because probably when we're married, maybe after a year or two, the kids start coming. I'll need that kind of support. So at that stage, that is what the woman would see as
love.
Love.
Her needs at different stages of her
will
life
determine
if they are supplied by her husband or her boyfriend. Then she feels that she's being loved. Okay.
Now, when it comes to, let's say, the marriage haven't gone to some point, you at that time would have learned a lot about each other. So you are looking more at the love language. You would have learned what your spouse's love language is. So my love language may not be the same way. That is basically how we both express love. So some woman would be happy my husband is helping with the house chores. That is how she sees that her husband has it. Some other person, that's not it. So it differs from married to married.
Later on, you will take us through the 5 love, or there are more, the 5 or 6, or how many love?
All the love, don't worry.
Love. Maybe you may want to go a bit spiritual and biblical, but as women who are supposed to respect and be submissive and be loyal and all that, what do we see as love, or what do we expect our men to do for us that we can appreciate that they love us?
Right, thank you. Love. I think when love comes, you've heard people say, "Oh, what is your love status?" And people are like, "It's complicated." Love is really complicated. Yes. So, for me, I would say that love is not that butterfly thing that we always feel within our bellies.
But women usually have more butterflies.
Exactly. But then we need to move from that to know that love is a decision. It is an act of will. But maybe we would put that decision and act of will aside and deal with what we call the affection. I think that's what we want to say, okay, then you are loving me. Because when we want to really delve into love, it means that whatever anybody does is a decision that I want to be in love with this person. But when it comes to affection, I would also say that it has a tendency of influencing our love. So let's just stay within that. And in that, like Grace was talking about, every facet of life has how someone feels you love. You love her. Talking on the woman's perspective, I've been unmarried before, and when I was unmarried, she was saying I was looking for maybe some form of security and some form of someone who would just take me as I am. You get it? So whatever I do, like, you should just like me as how I am. You don't need to change me to suit you. How you see me, how I talk, how I walk. Yes, just admire me, just like me for that. So if I do something, I'm expecting you to give me some form of positive feedback, like, oh, your dress is nice, this and that. And women, as all these words come passing through one ear and then the other, it makes us feel loved. And then when you get married, even marriage, she said, like the first 5 years, the next 5 years, all the phases of marriage comes with another formation of love.
You are scaring us.
Yes, it comes with another formation of love, because maybe your first 1 year, it's all about, yendido. So whatever, that's where you see people go out and the ice cream, I put 1 spoon in your mouth, another spoon. Yes, and it's so romantic, and it's looking so nice, and everyone feels like, oh, there's some love in the air. But then when one child comes in, you realize that this thing for me is not love anymore. I prefer something else, like, oh honey, bring the baby and let me put the pomade after you've bathed the baby. Bring the baby, let me put pomade, let me apply this, let me
wash the bowl so I can catch some sleep because the baby too is sleeping.
Exactly. Then I feel that I'm being loved. So the word love, like I said, is quite complicated and it's different at every level. But if we want to really delve into love matter,
it's not the butterflies.
No, it's not the butterflies.
We need to shoot those butterflies.
Exactly. And then decide that no matter what you do, I want to love you. No matter what you do, I know that I am loved. You get it. Maybe if your partner is, maybe if you know my husband, so my husband is more how should I say, like Takashi is the word, more commanding.
Yes.
You get it. Maybe a woman at looking, or a third party woman will say that papa di ondone here cry,
or controls the wife.
The wife. But for me, it's a decision that I've made. So for me, no matter how the person is, I'm loved. So that is the love. But if it comes to affection, maybe then yes,
you may not really get it.
Yes, exactly. You may not really get it.
I think when we talk about the affection, sometimes we watch a lot of Indian and Korean movies and Hollywood movies. So I remember there was a time that I was talking to this my friend, and something happened. You know that thing where like a lady, you get angry, we go and the guy will follow you and tries to beg you. So the person was like, so I got angry and I was going. The person was like, if you go and follow you, come back. It's better you come back and let's have this conversation. I'm like, I don't want to cry, because these things, people have certain expectations that you are supposed to have.
Yes.
Now, I'll come back to the first 5 years of marriage. What should anyone expect?
Right.
But I want us to look at two important things. What is respect and what is submission? What do you understand when men says they want to be respected or they want submission? Please tell us, how do you hear it? It's like we don't understand what they mean. They don't also understand what we give them as the respect and submission. But how do you? So now the men who are watching, when you say you want respect and submission, how do we hear it? Maybe we hear it differently.
So I'll say, if a man asks for respect, whether we like it or not, the ego is part of their making. It's part of them, added to them by the Creator. So it's there. Now, when a man asks for respect, like Bessie had mentioned earlier, or as we were having our earlier chat, so maybe you respect, someone will feel like, oh, if my wife would get my water ready in the bathroom, that is respect. If my wife would serve me, in a well-organized dining table, that is respect. So for me, I'll use the dining table setup as an example. That is how my dad taught us. So to him, he's teaching us how to respect a man. I don't joke with laying my daddy's table, not breakfast, I don't. But when I married, me, okay, you don't sit at the dining table. You come and serve kwabrani in tree. He will even be screaming, small food addition to you have to now be doing psychedelics around the dish. The food he wants to eat, not the something. Even sometimes you're done. Oh, can I serve? Oh, hold on, I'll get to when I'm ready. Then he's coming out with the saucepan, and we are fighting. But but somebody would say, how dare you? Exactly.
But that's his nature.
But that is him.
Yeah.
You go to a different home, is also something different. So for me, respect again, just like it's relative.
Yeah.
Like she said. So somebody you say, oh, your husband, this man is so commandeering, but they understand that language between them.
Yeah.
It's just them.
Yeah.
Good. So for me, I think basically respect is, yes, I will not be rude. I will not insult you. And I think one other thing that I think I have to mention is that sometimes some of us, the women too, when we are out there with the men, or we are, among third parties, sometimes we forget ourselves a bit and we don't know how to, go about some situation. So he may have said something may have happened. The next moment you are, blabbering over there to him, and then it's not the best. So that alone is disrespect. In fact, if you ask me, for both sides, because if you do that in front of other people, you are not respecting your spouse. Right. So that also counts for them a lot. So I think it's the way we talk to them. Is sometimes you're expressing yourself, brassy, you are being disrespectful.
Yes.
So I think it's just how we have to understand. And when it comes to submission, let me come to the Bible. Before Paul, I'm not even going to say God, because Paul wrote extensively about this. Before Paul said this, he first spoke about equality in the house of God. So both man and woman are equal. We all have different roles to play. You cannot have two captains in a ship. But I believe they are co-pilots. And there definitely is a pilot who is steering affairs, while the co-pilot is just supporting. So if we understand that is the rule, it's easy for us. As women, I think what the church initially did as a disservice to us in terms of submission is, that issue of you are going to Koto and Mira or my Lord. And I think that is where the church took it from in the early stages. So that trickled down, but it didn't necessarily help. It feels like if you're submissive, then you have to be, it's like, excuse my language, like you don't think. No, I'm submissive means I'm being respectful to my husband. I'm being respectful to my husband. We can discuss something. He can disagree. I can also want a different thing. If we are able to discuss and come to a compromise, or he thinks about it and come back later and says, hey, I think I want to go with your decision, I don't think anything has gone wrong. But I think the issues always come with this respect and submission thing, because one person wants to be up there, or one person wants to prove that I'm in charge.
And just like what you said, there are this couple I follow, the Winlows on social media.
Sure, exactly.
And then she said that, just like he said, she was taught, like, before she got married, practically it's like a school. Put the water here, put the soup here. Yes. They taught her everything. And her husband, and they actually started having issues, according to the story, like they said it themselves, was because the husband can just go into the kitchen, you have finished cooking, and just take one plate, dish the rice, put the stew, and start eating. And she had issues with that because she felt she wasn't a good wife. And the husband said that, like he said, it's a food I want to eat. It's not all those stylish things. So I think there are different men. So, for example, in Ghana, we know there are some tribes who even cook and clean and even wash, like as guys that can even cook, and it's normal. There are some tribes that even if they see your wife is washing and you are drying the things, they will say that she has charmed you. Talk less of probably she even cooking and you even helping her cut onions. It's worse. So I think that it's different for different couples. What works for them. You shouldn't say because what works for you should also work for her. And like she say, I don't think not every woman can probably marry your husband. Not every woman can probably marry your husband.
For that one, I can even testify. Please, three of them just confess. Please, we wanted Kola to be a friend, but in fact we think that not really. And I was like, why? Hey, he can have this muda media. I'm not ready for that kind of thing. I said, oh, sir, okay, that's fine.
Respect and submission.
So Martha, this just brings me to the point of, we've already, Grace has said it all. You've also come in with the basis that respect is relative. So for us to know what respect and submission means for the man, if you are yet to marry, let me look at which of them is the camera. Please don't forget to talk about this thing.
Thank you.
My man, what does respect mean for?
Hey, ask the man.
You need to ask. Because someone like me, I'm also coming from a home that
Let me write it down.
Yes. That is
Let me write it down.
Quiet free. Yes, I've seen my mom lay the table for my dad. But when my dad finishes, he will just shout to somebody, "I've finished though, come and pick the plate." Or sometimes he just walks away. We just come and see, and then we pick up the plate. But for me, it looks like I came into the marriage thinking that, but he should be able, you have legs, you have hands, you should be able to go to the kitchen and just take your food or something. But you realize that is why I was getting it wrong. So for him, that was not respect. If you do that, then it means that you are not honoring him. So respect is honor. See what he sees as honor. We go into the midst of people, like you said, sometimes we are taken aback and then we don't know how to relate with our friends when our husbands are there. True. But for my husband, he likes it that you introduce him. Oh, that's my husband. That's Reverend Obi. Then you see that. Oh yes. But for some other husbands,
they want to be
they just want to
don't even let them know I'm here.
Exactly. So these things, they are specific. Maybe we shouldn't generalize it. Let's make it specific. So don't forget, if you are entering into marriage, if you are already,
you can even still ask your husband if you are married. Oh, yes. Is that something I've been doing wrong? Like today, tell me, what are the things I do that you feel that it's respect? I think it's a key
very
thing.
Key. Now that probably we are airing it at this time, don't let it pass by. Myself, I'm going to do it. I'm going to ask again. What does respect mean for you? What does submission mean for you? I will try very hard to do it, and let me see how we flow in the next coming year. It's very key. So let's just take that into mind. Is respect, submission is specific.
When I had the interview with the men on what love means to a man, and then Councillor Sami defined submission, and I will urge all of you, those who have not watched the episode what love means to a man, go to our YouTube channel, Martha Inspires. You see that video. He said that, just like we are all saying, the word submission was misunderstood from way back. The man has a mission, has a purpose that God wants him to come and accomplish. So the sub means that you are a branch of that mission. You are coming to be a helper, to add up to something. And he used a very practical example with my team here. I have a mission as Martha Nabila to have Martha Inspires Foundation, to have the Reflections TV show, to use this as a medium to impact lives, to change lives. That is my mission. Now, I cannot be the light man, the cameraman, the production assistant, the floor manager. I can't be everything. I need people who also have probably expertise in certain things to come and be my helper. So they are submitting their mission under me, who have the bigger mission of reaching out to the multitudes. So when the cameraman with that expertise come, whatever God wants me to do, there is a subset of it, which is what? Television. What God wants me to do, there is a subset of it, which is what? Mentorship. So I need mentors. I need counselors like you to come. So this episode, I'm fulfilling my purpose by reaching out to the multitudes who are going to watch in this episode. But I don't have the knowledge that you have. So I need people who have something I need. That is a fraction. Let me use that word. A fraction of my mission. So the man has a mission, and the woman has something, a fraction of that mission. So the woman comes to add up her sub to the mission of the man.
Exactly.
That is how Councillor Sami defines submission.
That's just a nice way of elaborating what the help meet is.
So the woman comes to say, okay, baby, you are a pastor at the pulpit. You can't play the drums. You can't be the chorister. You can't be all that. We are all supporting your ministry to go, even though we all have our individual ministries. So I think that it's where maybe childbirth also came in. It looked like when you're pregnant, no, you give birth, no, just sit in the house. You're not supposed. But women also have their own missions. It's let me take a break. I forgot to take a break earlier on. We'll be right back. it was so difficult finding answers to all the questions that bothered my young mind. As soon as I found my purpose and understood my mandate, I made it a mission to answer as many questions as possible, bothering young people. I have mentored, inspired, and helped young people unearth their potentials through the Martha Inspires Foundation. However, I feel it is time to bring the conversation much closer to you. We have you in mind, you the young person. With my team of experts, we bring to you the Reflection Show, a show that focuses on addressing issues young people face, helping them to unearth their potentials, and giving them nothing but the best avenues in helping them solve issues that they may face in their young age. Join me, Martha Inspires, every Thursday and Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on Truth TV, the Reflection Show, restoring hopes. Welcome back from the break. I hope the men are learning how you want to be loved. We're going to tell you more, but it's getting interesting here, and we just want every one of you to know that women too, we need some more love. We need some, give us more love. They're gifts, right? So now let's come to the 5 love languages.
Yeah, so like I was saying in the first year, for instance. So would you want me to talk about the first the years of the marriage, the timing of the marriage?
You blend it with the title. So some say that their words of affirmation gave a hint. So you take us through that one quickly before we come back to the years.
So the words of affirmation. Like we said, everything is specific to people. So yes, you can see your wife in the morning and say, "Oh, wow, you're looking beautiful." And look, you've made her day for the rest of the day, irrespective of what anybody you say. She's unperturbed. What you said in the morning. So sometimes it's even encouraged that spouses should affirm each other in the morning. It carries the person through.
Yeah.
Again, having affirmed, please, affirmation is not just once. Let me bring the issue of love making in the affirmation issue. So sometimes we think love making is just an act and then it starts from there.
Okay.
Thank God for technology. This time it's even easier. It's not like we went in the morning and we are coming back in the evening. We can chat, we can call, we can check on each other. Let me give a typical example. One of my former bosses, his wife once in a while will just cook lunch and bring the lunch to him in the office. Once it's there, they lock the door. In fact, once the woman enters, everybody, if you go for lunch, can you go for lunch? Because they'll have lunch and they'll have lunch. So everybody has to vomit. So those are the things you do. Then again, you also have to be intentional. Sometimes we are not intentional. We assume everything will just go with the flow.
Okay.
So that is where we have the issues. In being intentional, let's be passionate. Passionate. You see, you are intentional, but if you are not passionate and you are not consistent, let me add that one too, you are not able to carry it through.
Okay.
Then that is where the decision bit finally comes in. Because you have decided, because you have made up your mind that I'm taking this through to the end. You do the best you can intentionally and passionately and consistently to keep the things working. So if you have to, as a friend might say, going to the drawing board 100 times, you do that. If you have to make time to sit and talk, discuss issues, that is what I think we don't do for ourselves. We assume, okay,
I fear the hard conversations.
We fear the hard conversations. So yes, but you see, the hard conversations, we can be intentional about it by saying let's do an outing. You don't have to say we're gonna have I feel like let's do an outing. You do an outing and you start, and then it comes up and then you hit me. My hard conversation is hard conversation. Bessie will tell you, yes, we don't mince words. So I think sometimes let us not be afraid of how hard we will have to hit each other. Let's do it. Let's recline and then come back. Having thought over issues, now we say, okay, this is good for us. Let's go with it.
Okay. So that's words of affirmation. Like just mention the ties for us.
No, so that's like the words of affirmation. Then you come with the decision, but being consistent, intentional, and then passionate.
Some talk about gifts,
also acts of service.
Okay, acts of service
and gifts. So when you talk of the acts of service and the gifts, for instance, gifts, like earlier on, I mentioned that everybody's love language is different. I have a couple friend. The husband is very good at giving something else other than gifts.
Okay.
But the wife is good at buying gifts. There are on there, so once in a while, Charlie, let's do some wild traveling. So even when it comes to gifts, it is still what is your love language. It does not also mean that you, the other spouse, you do not give gifts once in a while. There are occasions for gifts. Birthdays are there, things you can. So it's something we need to cultivate. The acts of service, I think we mentioned earlier. If my husband is supporting with the house chores or something I need to do, and they're doing for me or helping me do, that's an act of service. The question is, in all of these, does that satisfy the person? Do you feel loved when it is done? So if you don't feel satisfied by any of those, it cannot be your love language.
So if you say that your own is gifts and your husband your own is acts of service. And your husband says, oh, his own is gifts, and probably the kids are there. You want him to even take a shower, like help you like take a shower for them, and you are not doing it. You go and buy her a car. She's not really going to really appreciate it. And that's I watched another video by the Willows where the man was just sitting there and was like, "Sweet, time is going," and like 3 children. The woman was stressing herself, trying to dress. You know, kids, by the time you are holding one is passing here. And she's like, can't you just come and help me take care of them? The man said, I'm giving you 5 or is it 10 minutes. If you're not in, I'm going. And she has to also dress and go to work. The man actually leaves with a car, goes and leaves the wife and the kids. The woman comes, she has not even dressed up. And a neighbor is passing by, going towards the kids' school and say, I beg you, I'm very late. Their father has left. Just drop them in front of their school building for me. Oh, he takes the kids and they never find the kids again. And the man is now shifting blame. And she's like, if you had at least waited a bit, just even take the kids away. Me, I'm even late for work, I can sort myself out. So I think that the act of service, women really need it a lot, especially when kids come in. Because when kids are not in and you're even late, you can even buy food and buy one for your husband. You just go and eat like a date in your house and you are good to go. Or most times there's food in the fridge, but you can't always do that when they are kids.
Exactly. It took my mind to my husband and I. So at a point, for me, acts of gifts and those things, sometimes it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me
also
at all.
For my
that just talk positively and nice. I'm more
words of affirmation.
Exactly. So I'm more inclined to when you speak correctly than my husband. Those times, every time when he's coming, he moves to Accra and comes back, he's coming with a bag. You see, most of my things, cloth, bag, he goes and comes back and he brings them to me. I'm like, oh, thank you. As for the cloth, it's still there. I've not even taken it to go and sew. Because it's not something that I like doing. It took him a while to know that girl, do you know the kind of women who will love me?
Yes. That is their kind.
You see, but that's not what I want. I want you to talk to me nicely, affirm that, respect, supporting me, those sorts of things. But then when you don't
that's
do it,
your words affirmation, which is their honor, which their respect they want you to say or treat them in a certain way.
Exactly. So these things you just need to really do lots of observation.
A lot.
Mostly we just go and say that, oh, in research you do observation, you have a baseline data, you are doing it. In marriage, have you ever asked yourself what is the baseline data? What is the observation? What is now the care that I'm going with? We need to ask all these questions when you are married. It will help keep you.
A quick one that just came to my mind right now. Does temperaments also affect the people show love?
Definitely.
Let's talk about phlegmatics.
Is it because you're phlegmatic?
I'm a sanguine choleric, but I want this thing for you. My sanguines and flex usually so if it's too much, people will know I'm asking a personal question.
I know. So your papa is
a
the
phlegmatic.
Yeah.
And it's you have to be strong-willed to really handle them.
Yeah.
Because nothing, and I say nothing in the world does they care to them.
They don't care.
They don't. They are not moved. They are unperturbed by things. So you necessarily have to take the lead all the time.
The first time I really got very angry with it, with sanguines, it's their birthday, you are all over the place. Your birthday, you've gotten them the gifts, you try to do it, and it's my birthday. Flex will not even send you a happy birthday message. It's like they're just there when they remember.
Yeah.
It's like they forgot.
They forgot. So if you have a flag who is a flag through and through, trouble.
That's dangerous.
But they are
flag and male.
Flag and male.
Oh, flag and
sanguine. So Kola is that.
Is that flag and sanguine?
Kola is that.
You can be any of them.
You can be any of them.
I know you can be any, but it's difficult to have a flag and sanguine.
But
Kola is.
You can see.
So you see, I tell people
the sanguine more than the flag.
So I tell, and so that's why I tell people that when you see Kola out there, you've seen the sanguine. So then I remember 2 friends came on holiday some time ago, and he had come from the basketball court. It was like around 6ish, and we're just there. He just entered the door. Hi, good evening. Is the food ready? I'm hungry. My food. And I was so. I was like, yeah. Hey, but he says he's hungry. And I wasn't well, so one of them had done the cooking and offered to serve now. I'm like, oh, don't worry, you can when he's ready. Oh no, I want to serve. And I said, wait. He said, oh, but the person said he's hungry. Went to serve. And I said, please, whilst you are doing that, do cover it and then just put it down on the table. So she served under my supervision. I said, please cover it. Let's go. Put it on the table.
10 hours.
30 minutes. Then she looked at the table. I thought he said he was
eating.
angry. I didn't say a word. 1 hour, he came. When he came to sit there, he opened the plate and he was
on the phone.
You take one.
Flex.
He said, the person said he was hungry. And I said, his hungry is to be sure
that the food is there.
That the food is there. That's his assurance. That is enough for him. He is now going to spend 1 hour in the shower, and you are there. That's why I said relax. Everybody should have told me.
Let's define the flex. The flex are not.
Sorry to say, just they act just like the phlegm. That's where the word comes from. They are sluggish. They just don't have a lot of care in the world. So if you have a phlegmatic, you are not a choleric, a melancholic, a sanguine, that kind of traits that can really put them and push them, that's a lot of work. So you really and it can be a bit frustrating.
That's the key word.
It can be very frustrating. So you can talk and you're like, okay, you have discussed, or you know that this one, or there was a discussion, or this one, really, did we? Is that what I said? Hello, we said we were. Or
sometimes it's like when you want to talk about something, you feel like, but we spoke about it, it's over.
No, wow, you are even fortunate when you get to have
that
go past and have that conversation. You want to start and the mind is already.
I know someone who is married to a
shutting down,
and she tells me that even when you even tell him that I miss you, sometimes you don't even say anything.
There are some who are extremely flex, and theirs is pretty serious.
When you say like I love you, they don't say I love you. No. When you say I miss you, they don't say back. Like, even if it's face to face, I just be looking at you.
Yeah, so for some, Kola is maybe a bit different because he's a bit mixed. So the sanguine part shows in different ways that the flag. So it works out like that. But for a real flag, but thank God, everybody has a bit of, but it's the one that comes out more. So all the temperaments have their positives and their negatives.
Okay.
You have to know your positives and push and work on them. They are very sluggish, but they are very, very thoughtful. They get things planned out, well planned out. If they want, they can take their time and get it executed as you want it. they can be that systematic. Exactly. However,
they are good leaders as well.
And they are good leaders, but however, they need a lot of pushing.
Yeah.
They need a lot of push, and they are smart.
Yeah, they are good to manage people. Like
Yes.
if you have a fleck as an HR, it's very easy. But sometimes it's like when we sanguines and cholerics are like, we are going to do this thing tomorrow at 12 o'clock. A flag is not moved.
That's on perception. No, there's nothing. No, there's nothing. And that's my father-in-law for you. You're late.
What should someone know if probably wants to date a flag or marry a flag? I think with sanguines and cholerics, they are better. Like the issues are mostly with the males and the flags. The males, because they are more perfectionist and they want to be too perfect, and the flags too. If you don't take time, someone said if you don't take time, you think that a flag doesn't love you.
Yes. Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
That you think that the flag
doesn't like, because in fact, like you said, some of them won't even talk much. They won't talk much for you to even know the thoughts, the thinking. You just can't unveil them. Let me put it that way.
One doctor friend that I know, she in fact they are married about 3 kids. She said she doesn't remember the last time that, in fact, that the husband had never even proposed to her and asked her, would you be my girlfriend, or that she doesn't know how they got married. Because what she just kept asking was like, we've been talking, how is the relationship going, and the guy made her like, the husband made her feel like she was being too desperate, or so at a point just forgot about it, and once a while they would only for the husband to call her one day and say, you said your uncle is around there, so next week can we come and meet you? That's how it just happened. And she thought they were joking before she realized that the husband and who went and met, and then another call and say, your boyfriend, or say, I'm not dating him. He has not proposed to me. Now he has come that he wants to marry you. That's why she keeps saying that she doesn't think that she and the husband dated.
Exactly. You know, but then Martha, with this thing, so it's not just about the temperament. Even the day that you were born, from
from the weekdays,
Monday to Sunday, you all have certain characteristics that your partners need to know.
I'm the queer, so
okay.
So Equia and Kweku.
Oh, you might probably be having the same. How you would?
It would depend on and your month,
and then
your
the
date
month.
of birth, your month, and all that.
So it's all plays.
If
you someone to say something like zodiac sign, I said I don't never come free Hong Kong.
They should put it somewhere for us.
To know these things, it's good for you to go back home and reflect. So those of you listening who are not yet married, I think these things,
tell us,
you need to take them seriously.
Tell us,
because marriage is work.
Wow.
And if you don't know those basic things, it becomes so much. Using so much of struggles to make your marriage work, but you need to get to know it. So like for me, so I remember those times. So my husband used to tell me, okay, so you're Thursday born, they are boss ladies. So from the beginning, he knows that girl, last time until she accomplishes the A, there's no way she's going to turn B or C. You get it? But he knows that, okay, that is a Thursday born for you. Me, I didn't know all those things. So until he started telling me that you need to know. So like Kwejo, Omasem, very, very, very
difficult.
Tough. You know, they are very, very difficult. And so
Kojo people.
Yes.
And so
Kojo, which day one is that? Monday. Okay.
So you need to know all these things. They are very key. If not, you've been missing out on certain ingredients that can make your love as you say it. You get it. So we shouldn't take these things for granted. From my husband is a choleric. That's another wahala. So you can see all these
dynamics
things,
of it.
All these dynamics.
All of it.
So you need to make sure that
choleric.
You know
sometimes, like now I get when you say like too bossy. Like cholerics want to dominate.
Exactly.
Even when they are, it's more dangerous to have. It's more dangerous actually to have a woman who is a pure choleric.
Yes.
It's more dangerous. A man, because you wait, okay, so he's a man, it's fine. Exactly. But if you have a woman who is a choleric, it's very difficult because then they have anger issues. They can even put on their kids and all that. But if your man is choleric,
not just even on their kids. I lived with one, and honestly, like you're saying, I didn't think she was a choleric until there were so many issues. Then when I was taking my time, then I just came across and I was like, oh, so that because she is that bossy to the extent she doesn't care that you are older.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is also, yes. But like I said, we have the positives and we have the negatives. We need to push people into the positives. Then things will really level out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now, we've looked at the love languages. We've looked at how temperaments. We've discussed last year. We spoke about temperament. So please go back to our videos and watch about and about temperament, knowing your temperament and your spouse's temperament, because all of these things play a role. Sometimes you hear that somebody and someone like are divorcing or over a petty issue, and it's just purely temperament issues on how each of them handles it.
Right.
And I think if we're able to understand our temperament as individuals, it will really go a long way to help us. Now, we don't have much time left now. I just want us to look at, do you think that with the men, sometimes they're also not understanding from our point of view? Because now, do you think things have changed? Not that we are disrespecting them or we don't want to go against the Bible. We are New Testament women and modern women and all that. But do you think that they should also understand that things have changed? So the kind of wives they saw, their mothers be, we are unable to be that, because I can't cook, clean, take care of the kids, go to work with the same time with you, come back with you the same time, you cross your leg, watching football, pressing your phone, I'm back into the kitchen having to cook for you and everything, and at the end of the month you say bring 50% of your money. What should they know that probably we can do and may not be able to do for them?
Yes. Okay. All right. So, dear men, the times are changing. The times are, you see, the men, most of the times when you listen to them, they are coming from the point of view that, have you watched your mothers? Every time they just come with that argument. But then I don't know whether they've forgotten that this is a new era. Things have changed. The way they used to be, it's not the same way. There are so many technology ways of doing things. So many things have crisscrossed. See, I was in Accra last week, and then seriously, I listened to, how old is my auntie? About 80.
Wow.
80 something. But to be frank, she was talking from the woman's point of view, and you could see that no, they didn't like where they were. Trust me.
Thank you.
They had not. You see,
yes,
our mothers and our grandmothers stayed,
yes,
because they had no choice. It wasn't because they endured and stayed, because at that point, I don't have a job. I have nothing. If I leave, and you see, as soon as you marry into your husband's house, you have no identity in your father's house.
Exactly.
That was how it was.
Exactly.
So even when you leave your father's house, there is nowhere for you to go.
And for them, it was also a status.
Yes.
It was kind of a social status that you were adding to your whole value. You get it. So being married and staying in marriage meant that, oh, your social class had
gone up.
Exactly, improved a bit. So you could see that they were not happy with it. They didn't have, now that empowerment has come in, and then we are even able to say that communicate with your husbands. They didn't have that opportunity to be communicating with their husbands.
It was more of master servant role.
Servant kind
Cook
of
for
thing.
me, bath this, fetch water for me in the listen. If I want in the night, come to my room.
Exactly.
Go back.
It was pure, and I kept on asking her that, so how were you surviving? Like, did you feel cherished? Because I feel they didn't feel cherished. They just felt like they were serving
that's what they
in
felt.
that kind of
Serving to make babies for the man's name.
For the man's name, you get it. But then she told me that now that empowerment has come in, she's happy that in this era we are talking about communicate with your husband and see what works. So dear husbands, just listen listen to us, because we think that understanding is lacking. Just try to understand.
Just try to understand.
Just try.
Please, the word is try.
Just try
to understand.
Don't be like my husband who says that I know that this woman is a big problem. Don't be like that.
Let me take my final break. I'll be back to wrap up.
My name is Naima. I have a challenge with my aunt since I was in basic 5. If I'm in class learning on the board, it reflects. So I can't see well, I can't read well, so I have a problem with learning. So when I heard about the eye screen in Matter Research Foundation, I decided to come over and see how it will help me, and I'm very happy to be here today.
Welcome back from the break. What love means to a woman? You know, when I don't even know how I came by that topic, but I realized that this is a conversation that we actually need to have because we have our different perspectives. The men came, they spoke. I said, Kai, I can't let you alone speak. I have to call the woman to come. With everything that we have said, just let me start with you on your final words. Anything that you think that, what does love mean to you? What should the men do for us? What they should stop doing, and how they can help us more?
Okay, all right, yes. So for the woman, maybe from the perspective of marriage, we feel that love to us means, first of all, understanding us. Secondly, supporting us in terms of home chores. The other thing too is just buy us little things, not so
like cars.
You know, one of my aunties was like, imagine that your husband does something and then just goes to town and comes and calls you, honey, Charlie, come for this
Range Rover.
You get it. So dear men, if you wrong us, I mean, we are humans. Hey, we also have emotions.
Imagine how many cars and gifts they have to buy after every offense. Yes. You can't park them in your house.
No, you can't. I mean, we don't want the cars, but I mean, help us to be your friends.
Yeah.
That's just it. Because women, you know, the reason why one woman would jump from her home to another woman to be talking is because she can't find the friend in the husband. So as much as you are husbands, and from the Bible's perspective, you are our heads, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be our friends. So try and be friends with us. Help us to make you our confidants. You know, help us the way you are friends with others. Just be friends with us, and then everything will just flow. And then give us the opportunity to also talk. When we talk, just don't slam words.
Our feelings are valid.
They are valid, you know. And then we also want to feel valued when we do something. Charlie boy abaso. You know, just give us some pampering words to say that, oh, lovely dear one, and all those things, so that things would work well. Because love in itself is complicated. Make it easy, and we will also make it easy. You know that you want the sex thing. If you say the things, you see the way we just open this one and open this one. So
then I want it. Okay. Your final words.
Yeah, so I'll just add to what Bessie said. All that said, well and good, they should also seek to listen to us. I think before they can understand us, they really need to pay attention and listen, and they should be there for us. You know, sometimes the argument I have is, you're not there. Yeah, so I'm there. I'm doing what for you? You don't have to be doing anything for me. We are supposed to be bond and have companionship. Being absent doesn't create that. You have to be present. So they need to listen and then be present for us. And like Bessie said, when they offend, you see, sometimes it appears like we don't offend. But I see that we make a lot of effort not to offend more than they do.
It's true.
And when they do, please
We make a lot of efforts not to offend them.
Yeah,
more than they do.
They do, yes.
We are conscious about
exactly.
it.
Don't postpone the apologies.
And
we
the
beg you.
Yes.
And if conversations must follow, let's not postpone them. You know, I keep saying that there's something about saying sorry.
Yeah.
We're talking about forgiveness.
Right.
If you are not intentional about your sorry,
yeah,
it makes it. I can forgive you. Do you know why? Because as a child of God, I'll just go. Papa, you said we should forgive, so I have let's go. But trust you me, those things also have a very funny way of building certain things up. So let's do well to be friends and bond the way we should bond.
We want to be your friends. We want to bond with you. We are your helpmeets. We are only sub part of your mission.
Yeah.
Treat us like buddies, buddies, so that we can be together. This master slavery or master subordinate thing may not always work, because sometimes people are afraid of even approaching their husbands on certain conversations. Because they feel that, hey, this one will get him angry. You know, when we're young, we used to hear those things. Hey, this one, I can't tell my husband. He'll be very angry about it. And sometimes I feel like your husband. So, open up a bit. Be more patient. Look at me talking like I'm married.
Don't worry, it's there. Yeah. It's there.
So, let's try as much as possible to be together, because we coming out, we also want to have very wonderful marriages. Most of us have our businesses, our career, and we just want our partners to allow us to be able to fulfill our purpose, to fulfill our mission. So don't please love us in the way we understand. So when you also go home today, or you are sitting by your wife, ask your wife, how do you want to be loved? How do you want to be loved? The love I'm giving you, is it enough? Is it telling you that I really love you? You can also ask your husband, how do you want me to respect you? With the way I act, does it show I respect you? Marriage is work. Every relationship is work. The Holy Spirit is using me to talk to you because I'm not married. So the things I'm saying, I believe there's wisdom in it, but I've not experienced it. But I just pray that we'll have beautiful marriages. I sometimes feel very sad and scared when I hear of so many divorce cases, especially under fire. I think we couldn't talk about the challenges to expect in the first 5 years of your marriage. Another time you can look at that. But let's stay strong and see that we can make marriages work. The Martha Inspires Foundation, we are still asking for support. We are still asking for help, donations all year round of clothes, learning materials, cash, partnerships with organizations, with all our activities. Give us a call on 054-9578-512. You can also go on Facebook, Martha Inspires Foundation, on YouTube, Martha Inspires, and check all our videos, all our content there, and you realize that we are just here for young people. Thank you for watching the Reflection Show with me, Martha Inspires. See you same time next week.